That shouts out to CBS. PBC is doing their thing. Showtime combined with them. They just put on one of the most immaculate main events in boxing history. Why? Because whenever you have two A-level fighters going head to head, you usually don't get that kind of clash. When you do, you remember them. The last time CBS put on a fight of that magnitude, or a fight, was 32 years ago. And that fight had the late, great Muhammad Ali versus Leon Spinks. This is the first show that I've done since the passing of the late, great Muhammad Ali. And I like to send a special shout out, and I've done a tribute for those guys. So if you haven't, go out to the channel and check that out. That's Master Boxing on YouTube, and you can go on the page Master Boxing on Facebook and check that out as well. You have to do something whenever you have greatness and you have the opportunity to live during that person's life. It's great. But Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman did boxing an adrenaline shot last night. What it did is make a statement to the welterweight division that there are two fighters that will put it all out there on the line post the Mayweather era. And what you saw was they had the same mentality going out into that ring as Hitman Hearns did when he fought Marvin Hagler. Whatever happens is going to happen. I'm not going to dress down in defense. I'm not going to be afraid to bring this fight to you. And I'm going to take everything you have. I'm going to break certain things down. Like I said, my name is Eric Bradley, and I always take the moment to let the people know who I am. They call me the real fight doctor. And what I do is I break the fight world down, round by round. So here we go. The first part of the fight. These are the things that I try to explain to the fight fans and all of the casual fans. That whenever you have a fighter, and he's a pressure fighter, and he's focused on conditioning, and he's focusing on pressure, what that causes you to miss is there are other options. So Shawn Porter storms out, throws his shots. Nice penetrating jab, which is what you're supposed to do whenever you're the shorter fighter. Head movement, piercing jab, but you have to make sure that you also change the momentum of that fight, giving that other fighter different looks. One of the things that I noticed that the Porter camp focuses on is conditioning, pressure. They do focus on boxing, but they elude certain things whenever they get into that ring because it's like that pressure causes that anxiety. So Shawn Porter just turns on that Mike Tyson mentality. But the thing about Mike Tyson, he just didn't go forward. He understood how to go side to side, and he understood how to take those punches and turn them in different ways and close the deal because he had that equalizer, which is power. There was a post that I've done, and it's called Coaches University. Stay with me here because this is what a lot of people don't understand about these coaches, and they got big names, and you see them in these arenas, and you think, okay, because they're in those arenas, they must be extra smart. They must know it all. Well, their coaches have certain strengths and coaches have weaknesses. And the strength of Coach Kenny Porter is he is good and understands the importance of conditioning. He also understands whenever he's putting a game plan together, he understands how to add those bells and whistles. But one thing that has been overlooked is the making the adjustment into your identity as a fighter, as a pressure fighter, but you can box. But what happens when you have to box and not be a pressure fighter? Because that's the adjustment you have to make, because whenever you press a fighter too hard, you cannot get the spacing to attack him the way you need to attack him. Shawn Porter's on top of Keith Thurman. He's on top of him, throwing the punches, but you can't get effective punches without spaces. Spacing is the most important part for pressure fighters. That's why Tyson got so many knockouts, because he had the equalizer and he understood spacing. If you watch Mike Tyson, he didn't just hop forward. He hopped side to side, step back, boom, boom, create space, throw the shot. 3-2, 1-2, 3-4, 4-3, you're gone. This is what I'm talking about. Hook right, good night. How does this happen? No inches apart. I teach fighters the essence of boxing, but making adjustments. What he did not do, and this is what I shot a video to, keys to victory. Shawn Porter always smothers his punches. He always stays squared up. Kenny Porter saw the post and said, Coach Bradley, I'll take you up on that. And I said, fine, because that will not change the complexity of styles make fights. Your son is a pressure fighter. He's just going to press in the fight. He's not going to take an opportunity to show that he has different levels of boxing cachet. Yes, he did a lot of different things, but he still had the same approach, press. So he couldn't make the fact that he's shorter, he couldn't make Keith Thurman shorter because he never stepped back. Let me explain this. When a fighter is taller and then they go forward to a shorter fighter, in order to hit them, they have to reach. And when you reach, that shrinks you down, allowing the shorter fighter to get pop, pop. And I put this in the video. All right, check this out. Now, you are fighting dimensions because you're focusing on pressing, but you're not getting the space, so the shots are not effective. And Keith Thurman knew this. He made a statement. Smart fighters win, dumb fighters lose. He's not saying he's dumb, but he's not going to make all of the adjustments. Keith Thurman took the opportunity to make all of the necessary adjustments. Why is that? Because he has a higher boxing IQ. He doesn't have anyone giving him specific instructions. He's a pure fighter that happens to know how to box well and has a high IQ. Shawn Porter is a natural pressure bully fighter, and he has someone that adds bells and whistles to his game, making it appear that he's a much better boxer, but he's still the same frame. He's still a Chevy Tahoe, but he's trying to be one of the big dogs, the Lexus truck, the Land Rover. He's trying to be the big dog of dogs. You can't fool people. So I told these guys in the post, the keys to victory, that he would smother his punches. And he would get caught with the uppercut left hook because he stays squared up. He wanted to put it out there. So, Kenny Porter, alright, what's up? You got to eat crow because your son did not do enough to win the fight. He did a lot of things. He punched a lot, but it wasn't effective aggression. What he needed to do was step back and create punches that would not have been there, and it would have caught Keith off guard, and Keith probably would have fallen for the bait, reached in and got caught with the counter. But instead of that, Shawn Porter was getting caught with counters, reaching in, boom, boom, boom. And if Keith would have established the jab before the third and fourth round came around, if he would have established it, so by the middle point of the fight, man, he would have been able to shoot that 2 and that 3, come with them 4s and them 3s, he would have took them out. There's no way he could have took those shots. He was rocked several times so hard that when he held and clenched, it was like it was hugging his sweetest love ever so tightly. This is the fight game. The moment that Keith Thurman made the adjustment later in the fight, when he said he's going to draw a line in that sand. Why do you draw a line in the sand? In the boxing world, this is what we call, you create an imaginary line. You sit down and you dare your foe to cross that imaginary line. Hands go here, sit down, show him the chin. You guys seen Mayweather do it. You've seen Bernard do it. You've seen James Toney do it. Lockdown. Andre Ward is a pugilist at it. And let him know, the moment you throw punches after stepping across that line, it's time for violence. Keith Thurman made that adjustment in that fight. Shawn Porter, at that point, had no answer. He would not take the chance. And in the 10th, 11th, 12th round, clearly winning the 11th and 12th, that's the adjustment that Keith Thurman made. On top of hitting Shawn Porter with shots that he knew he could not take all night. He did get some shots to the body. He did take some shots to the head. Keith Thurman weathered the storm of being cut. Shawn Porter showed that he has a lot in his arsenal, except the ability to make the unnecessary adjustment and have effective aggression, because he was in there with a true welterweight that he could not bully in that ring. In Shawn Porter, a lot of people will bash his style right now, but you can't bash the style. You ever thought maybe it was the university that he was attending? You can't. No matter what you do, you cannot learn Spanish in English class. They called me the Fight Doctor, and I thank you guys for watching. Because right now you're watching Master Boxing. And this is where we break the fight world down. Round by round. Shouts out to everybody watching the fight. CBS, congratulations to the Thurman family, the Porter family, much love. It's going to be a great year in the sport of boxing, but by far, that is one of the top candidates for Fights of the Year. And we thank you guys for tuning in and keeping me motivated, because we're in camp right now. So you haven't seen as much video currency, but at the same time, I always try to make sure that I'm here to educate you guys. Continue to follow us. Go out to masterboxingllc.com and see the forum of our educational, platform. Get yourself educated in the sport of boxing. And like I always say, don't just watch boxing, casual fans. Be boxing. So long.